From the old Piggly Wiggly site to 526, I sit down exclusively with Charleston County Council member Brantley Moody for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and download my app as well. Brantley Moody, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you, Quintin. Happy Halloween to you.
I call it, where's the candy day?
Yeah, plenty over there.
Exactly right. There's so much to talk about when it comes to Charleston County Council, and I want to go to that in just a moment. But first, let me talk to you about the passing of Miss Beverly Craven. Yeah. Obviously, her funeral was yesterday, and you just told me off camera you spent 1 year with her before she retired.
She was a dear lady. She was one of the first ladies I met when I was first elected, and I got to serve with her for about a year. And she was the kind of lady that just everybody loved. I mean, at her reception at County Council, where she was lying in state, saw Mayor Riley, saw all kinds of other folks that came to pay tribute with her. So it wasn't just County Council she worked with. Everybody knew and loved her. But she was the kind of lady, when I first started, sometimes the agendas can be a little confusing, and she might just kind of reach over and just point, subtly, just, didn't want to, she could see I was maybe lost or something. So she was the kind of lady that would just do those little touches. The hat collection she had, she'll always be known for her hats, and we'll miss her. We'll miss her greatly. But I tell you, I told Kristen Salisbury, our current clerk of council, that the true mark of a leader are the leaders that person leaves behind. And Miss Craven trained a lot of great people, and we've got some good staff over there that are left behind to carry on her legacy.
Exactly right. Let me stay with Charleston County Council because there's so many issues. Right. Just the other night, I was interviewing Peter Shea right before he went over there. But the old Piggly Wiggly site,
yes.
Obviously, the plans have been revealed. Mm-hmm. What is that most requested plan right now in your mind?
Well, I think it's got to be something that's in keeping with West Ashley. Okay, so it's a gateway. It's the main gateway into West Ashley. So the neighbors did not want hulking buildings, large parking garages, and things like that. We wanted tasteful buildings. I think it's got to be, the city's talking about maybe having a municipal type building right on the corner as you approach that intersection. I think that would be okay, but there's got to be a large private development impact over there. That property is not on tax rolls, so getting it back into private or developers' hands to do with it is what needs to happen. Now, I think restaurants, small retail, local retail. I think that's what the neighbors over there want.
One, that tax roll.
Yep.
Let's say, for instance, if it was available, how much would that cost the county and the city?
I don't know what it's been in city control for 3 years now. So
Okay.
I'd have to go back and look and see what the tax that the Piggly Wiggly owners were paying before then. But of course, it would probably be higher now.
Okay.
So I don't know that answer.
Let me go down the street.
Yeah.
Obviously, Charleston County Parks Rec and Convention, I guess, want to have a feedback that is on the county park, the Old Town Park, which is right next to Charlestown Landing.
Yes.
What is the feedback so far on that?
Well, a lot of nature trails, a lot of walking trails. There are some neighborhoods that sort of kind of wrap around the back of that. Sure. So there is some concern about noise back there, which is certainly valid. Maybe being able to connect to Charlestown Landing with some things that we've heard. So there's a lot of history on that property, and that was outlined at the community meeting the other night at Orange Grove Elementary. So being able to document and lay out that history was important as well. So I think that's going to be a neat park when it's all said and done for West Ashley.
Now, is that park kind of like similar to Shem Creek Park?
No. This is this is going to be passive, I guess would be a better word. The county park system does not really do passive parks. If you think about James Island County Park and Warnemaker, these are big family, blow it out kind of parks. And I think this is going to be more of a quiet place for reflection than our other county parks.
Now, how much is this going to cost the actual taxpayer?
Well, until we decide what we're going to do, I don't know what it would cost. So we've got to figure out how much it's what's going to be implemented. And that was the purpose of the meeting the other night, was to get feedback from the community and find out what they wanted, so we can go. David Bennett and his group at Charleston County Parks and Rec can go start building out a plan for that and bring it to council for approval for money.
Now, what is the plan right now for 7 and 171?
Yeah, well, so great feedback from the neighbors over there. You recall the convoluted plans that were laid out were all wildly rejected. So I think we've really simplified it, and I think the folks are going to be happy with it. So I'll start first at Sam Rittenberg and Orange Grove. So you'll have basically what we're thinking is maybe 2 left-hand turn lanes going towards the North Bridge. We'll extend back on the CVS side a longer right-hand turn lane to let people going towards the North Bridge. Then coming up towards Old Town and the 61 area, you may see a light at Amberley. That's Amberley and Highway 7. That's a very dangerous crossover. A lot of people trying to get over there over to the public shopping center. That's a very dangerous shopping center. And then on up to Charlestown Road, where you have Dickens, and then you have Donahue over here on the Old Town side. So Donahue intersection, that intersection is badly aligned, so probably fixing that intersection. And then enhancing with crosswalks all of the intersections. So maybe some mast arm lights.
Oh yeah.
Getting rid of the old traffic lights. So some beautification. Probably half the cost, maybe thinking in the $5 million range. I think some of the numbers for the big blowout plans were anywhere from 10 to 14 million. We're probably half that with these scaled back plans.
Now, how long will this take?
Best case scenario is we would maybe be able to start later next year.
Okay.
We're already starting to work on the design and development stuff.
Yeah.
So actually turning dirt would be probably mid to later next year. And construction time, I don't know that yet.
Yeah. Let me turn over to Berkeley County, and my phone is acting up again because of the Wi-Fi issues. Yeah. But obviously, there's a big talk about, issues with, recycling and, trash. Can you clarify what exactly is going on?
Yes. So I think it's well documented. Our Romney Street recycling facility is woefully old. The equipment is breaks down, is prone to break down. So the amount of recycling that we have coming in from Charleston County, we just can't process it all. And so what ends up happening is that stuff may sit outside, it may become contaminated, and then if that's the case, it eventually goes to the landfill, which nobody wants. We know our friends up in Berkeley County have an arrangement with a company called Repower South, and Repower South is in Berkeley. Berkeley County does not generate enough material for Repower South, and so they were looking for additional stuff, I guess you could say. So our idea is that in order to stop recycling from going into the landfill, is send that stuff to Berkeley County. So what we've decided to do is North Mount Pleasant, North Charleston, to divert those recyclables to Berkeley County, to Repower South. It's going to do a number of things. Number one is it's going to help us accomplish our goal of getting more stuff recycled and sold. Number two, it's shorter, driving to and from those areas to Berkeley County than downtown to Romney Street. And it's also going to let us stop having to run our Romney Street facility 24/7. We're having to pay overtime to those employees. So there's going to be some significant savings to the county from overtime, from transportation and things like that. So all in all, it's a net zero impact financially to the county, but we're increasing the amount of recyclables that are actually being processed.
Now, going back to the Romney Street Center, what are the savings there?
Well, overtime mostly. So, if we've got our folks, generally pay time and a half for overtime. So if you're able to eliminate a half a shift or one full shift or whatever of overtime pay, that's the savings there. The transportation cost is time and fuel and things like that. So if you're coming from Allendale, for instance, you shoot over to Berkeley County instead of coming all the way down there. So there's time saved to and from and fuel costs as well. So those are the big impacts.
And I know something that's big and impactful is the Bees Ferry billboard. Everyone's talking about that. Yeah. How do you look at it as a Charleston County member, and how do you look at it as a West Ashley resident?
Well, I'm not wild about it at all. I mean, it's Bees Ferry is still a kind of a rural residential area. The issue we've got is that the zoning there permits that billboard. So the owner of that parcel could put a behemoth billboard like you might see on I-26 up there, and there's nothing that the county could do about it because that's what's permitted there. So from what I understand, the owner has come and asked for some variances to move this billboard, here and there a little bit closer to the landfill, and in exchange for that, the owner has agreed to really skinny down the size of that billboard. So not ideal, but better than a behemoth that could be there.
Let me turn over to something else that is very controversial, and that is Fill and Build.
Yeah.
Every city council member from Charleston, from Harry Griffin to Marvin Wagner, talks about the Fill and Build ordinance. Is this a concept that Charleston County could actually adopt?
Yeah, I'd absolutely be willing to look at it. It's what we try to do on the county, especially the last couple of years with bag bans and short-term rentals and things like that, is we try to be as close to the municipalities as we can, so that people can't go here, you can't go into a donut hole and try to take advantage of different situations. So to the extent that we can try to be in step with municipalities, we would absolutely look at that.
Now, I know, obviously you live in West Ashley, which is the city of Charleston.
Yeah.
Can you tell me exactly who would be ideal to lead the city of Charleston going forward?
Well, I mean, my pick is Gary White.
Okay.
I've known Gary for 25 years. We're both commercial bankers. He's a retired and recovering commercial banker.
Okay.
But Gary's just steady as a rock. Good finance guy. I think he runs the budget or Ways and Means, whatever it is, of the city. He is very involved in the financial budgetary process and implementation of the implementation of the budget for the city. Born and raised in West Ashley, just rock solid. He's not a camera seeker. He's not a headline seeker. He's just a guy that wants to get the job done, and he doesn't care who gets the credit. And for that, that's why I'm supporting him.
Obviously, you're supporting your dad, who's up for re-election. I know the Chamber of Commerce endorsed him.
Yes.
Why do you think they endorsed him?
Because he's built his whole career on business. He started his own firm in 1972 and turned it into a massive CPA firm that was eventually bought by a regional CPA firm. He has spent a career volunteering and leading organizations like the Tri United Way, like the Charleston Metro Chamber of Commerce. He helped form the Charleston Regional Development Alliance when the naval base left town. So he spent a career in business, and that's why I'm sure they supported him.
Now, in the race between him and Rossapel, what's fact and what's fiction about what's going on right now?
Well, Quintin, I'm a commercial banker, okay? And so my day-to-day, what I do are analyze historical facts and trends and make decisions based on that. So when I look at my father, the things I just mentioned, his leadership roles, the parks that he has gotten done for his district, Fort Pemberton just recently on James Island, those folks were scared to death that was going to be a big housing development. He came to county council and lobbied for that. Randolph Park, Bender Park, WPAL. He's gotten the Greenway, the Bikeway paved. He's worked tirelessly for underground wiring on Savannah Highway in his district. So that's the historical, when you look at it at somebody's past as an indicator of what they'll do in the future, that's an outstanding record. So, Mr. Appel doesn't have a track record yet, just like I did in 2016. But I see trends that are troubling to me in West Ashley. First of all, the livability pact, anything that group, in my opinion, touches is suspect or should be suspect. It's made up of folks that were on boards and commissions. They've been run off of those things, and they want their proxies to have a voice back at City Hall, and so that's troubling. His advocacy for short-term rentals. And that's, short-term rentals may not be all evil in certain places, but in our neighborhoods, that's not where they need to be. They don't need to be in, cluster houses in the belly of Ashley Hall Plantation. We don't need to have those type of things that he's advocated for. We don't need hotels and boutique hotels in the old village in Mount Pleasant. That's what things that he's advocated for with his clients. And then obviously 526. He's trying to run away from that as fast and as hard as he can, but he just can't. He says he's for it, then the city paper, he says it's a dinosaur. He says it's a concept that needs to go. And then, obviously he's filed a lawsuit on behalf of the Coastal Conservation League for 526. So I don't see how you can say you're for it when you're against it. And 75% of the numbers never changed in West Ashley support that project. So those are the troubling trends. If those are indicators of how he'll perform as a city councilman, I think West Ashley's got problems. And obviously your father told me that over the time, when he sued, obviously with the Coastal Conservation League, that it delayed 526 for many years. Well, county council anticipated lawsuits. We surely did. I mean, it would be nice if it didn't happen. We could just, keep clipping right along and didn't have to spend money on lawsuits and things like that. So inevitably it could have delays, but it certainly will increase cost.
Now, how much, did the delay cost you all?
Well, nothing yet, because we're proceeding as normal. Okay, we've made our first payment to SCDOT. We'll probably due here the next couple of months for another payment, and the CIV will also make their payments. But at some point down the line, this case has not been litigated yet, but our legal teams are having to spend time doing their due diligence, getting ready to litigate this thing when they could be working on other things. So there's a quantifiable cost there. But at some point, if a judge somewhere said, "Hey, stop what you're doing. We got to figure this thing out," that's when you're going to hear people start screaming.
I know, obviously, you was elected to the county council in 2016.
Yes.
And I just looked on the website.
Yep.
And you were up for re-election in 2020.
Yes.
What is that one big issue that you want people to say, "Hey, you got to keep me here so I can fix this issue"?
We've done a really good job in West Ashley of turning the attention to West Ashley. So obviously 526 was a big issue of mine. Roads were huge. If you look in my district from basically from Farmfield Tennis Center all the way out to Sylvan Shores. All of those neighborhoods were decrepit and broken down and have been repaved. We've also repaved neighborhoods along Sam Rittenberg Boulevard over there behind Ashley bowling lanes. The intersection improvements we've been doing now, 61 and 7 finished right as I was coming in, but those type of intersections, 171 intersections and things like that, those are the things I want to continue to do. Obviously, getting 526 to the point of no return is a huge fact for me, so I'd like to continue that work.
What is the biggest difference between 2016 and now being on Charleston City Council? County Council.
I'll tell you this. I think the county council is really close to putting to bed some bad legacy missteps. Okay, so the Naval Hospital, for instance, we are close to getting some things done there. Some properties we've got downtown, the old 995 Morrison, the old Deotis building, we are close to getting our folks out of those buildings and into newer buildings, getting those properties that are old and broken down, getting those things sold. That's the biggest difference, is we're really close to being able to set aside some of those bad choices.
Brantley Moody, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's
Good to see you, Quintin.
Thank you.
You got it.
Yes, sir.